We all have our imperfections. Usually, those imperfections aren't generally noticed by other people. But two things that many people, especially teenage girls, pinpoint about themselves is the fact that they think they look fat or that they don't have good skin or facial features. Usually this influence comes from the media. This problem is called having a negative body image. Research in the US shows that more than 90% of girls aged between 15 to 17 want to change at least one aspect of their physical appearance, with body weight ranking the highest. And in the UK, a study showed that almost half of girls under the age of 12 were worried about their weight. So what does having a negative body image mean? Everyone has an image of their body, meaning that we see ourselves in different ways. These ways could be good or bad and can sometimes be influenced by what we see in the media. For example, magazines which only use super skinny models can make girls think that they have to be like that as well. Also, girls can think that to be accepted by boys and friends, they have to be very thin, because thin equals beautiful. What doesn't help this is the ways that having a skinny build is being promoted to younger children. Have you ever seen any plus-size Barbie dolls? Or have you ever seen any Barbie dolls with a face full of freckles or pimples? By creating these iconic dolls in a way where they have long legs and are always tall and skinny with perfect features, it doesn't send off a good message to young girls to whom these toys are targeted at. Having a negative body image would most commonly occur in teenage girls because at the time between ages 13 and 17, girls can be both very influential and sometimes uncomfortable with their bodies. Also, girls are always expected to look pretty by wearing makeup and a certain fashion, a very common stereotype. Some girls can pretty much outright say, "I'm ugly," because comparing themselves to women in the media, they think they are. Body image issues can affect girls in both social and physical ways. If a girl thinks she's fat, it can mainly lower her self-esteem, which means that she is less likely to show her stomach or thighs in things like bathers, or wear slim-fitting clothing, or get changed in the same room as others. A big physical aspect that can affect girls are things like eating disorders. If a girl thinks she is fat, she could starve herself, otherwise known as having anorexia. Or she could be bulimic, meaning that she eats but throws up to keep the fat off her hips and thighs. These disorders can be life-threatening and can lead to serious diseases such as hypothermia and liver diseases. Although there are long-term consequences, they only start with having a negative body image and thinking that you're fat. They actually come from having eating disorders like anorexia and bulimia, or having things that even come from eating disorders like depression. These disorders can land you in hospital for years of recovery. Depression can even do the same, but it can also lead to more serious things like suicide. Even though having a low self-esteem because of having a negative body image isn't deadly, if it isn't fixed, you could go for years without feeling good about your body. Because having a negative body image usually comes from the media and celebrities who model the unachievable expectations, there are always ways within reason that we can reduce the number of people with a negative body image. For a start, advertisers for things like makeup or clothing should stop only using skinny models. It's not as if everyone has the same perfectly and sometimes too skinny body. It would also make bigger girls feel as if they aren't pretty enough to be put out into the world. Also, having these sort of advertisements on TV where children can view them is not sending out a good message either. Secondly, magazines should stop using their same old touch-up system. It makes people look fake and flawless, which nobody is, and even though magazines that think this tactic is a good one, it doesn't model what people actually look like. An example of a girls' magazine which does not use touch-ups is Dolly magazine. They model clothing on girls of all shapes and sizes, and every photo they take themselves is stamped with a retouch free zone stamp to indicate that they don't use airbrushing on their photos. The magazine has been like this for over 4 years now, and magazine editor Tiffany Dunk says to 9MSN, "Teenagers want to see themselves reflected in their magazines. They're not interested in seeing super skinny, clear-skinned girls." And lastly, celebrities, who are one of the biggest influences on teenage girls, should use much less Botox and plastic surgery. Someone like Kim Kardashian sets one of the worst examples to teenage girls about having a negative body image. Kardashian claims to have never had plastic surgery or Botox, even though over the years the world has watched as she's magically transformed from pretty to plastic. Most girls look up to these sort of celebrities. They should be the ones setting the example. If having constant facelifts, fillers and different jobs done is normal in the high life, then obviously it will have some sort of influence on the many people who watch these celebrities. Putting plus-size models in more magazines and advertisements would definitely lift both the spirits and confidence of bigger girls. It would let them know that they are pretty enough to model and be in the media, or even beautiful enough to be accepted by people. Also, not all people are super skinny. In fact, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, the average woman weighs around 70 kilos. What would help girls love themselves for who they are would definitely be everything that I've already mentioned. A big thing is helping girls be less influential and more independent about their choices and thoughts, and that what they can see in the media is sometimes fake, generally speaking. What would also really help would be to run classes, either in or outside of school, that could teach girls about what having a negative body image means and what having one can potentially lead to. What girls need to remember is that you don't need tons of makeup or to be super skinny to look nice and be accepted, and everyone is beautiful.